Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trop Talk podcast. My name is Elijah Llewellyn. I've got my co-host Hunter Tubbs here. Hunter, how you doing?
I'm awesome, man. Just swept the West Coast road trip, 9 in a row. Don't get to say that very often. Got a super special
Wow.
guest here, so all is good today.
We do. We have MLB senior writer for the Athletic, Brit Ghiroli. Britt, how you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, the Rays are rolling. Baseball's chugging along towards September, one of the best months of the year, guys. So
Oh,
it's been a good time. It's been a good time. I live in the Baltimore area, so I pay special attention to the American League East, and it's been cool to see the Rays go on their run just as Yankee fans start to panic because the offense isn't doing well and the Red Sox cool off. So it's going to be a really interesting. It was always an interesting division, but someone reminded me the other day that you guys probably know this, but I like forgot about it that the Rays starting the season had the worst odds in the entire division to go to the playoffs.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
look at I mean, I don't know why people keep like trying to bet against the Rays, right? They just continuously do it. And right now they're atop the American League East 9 in a row. They've just been like scorching hot. And they're also the best farm system in the game, too. Like, not
Yeah.
a great argument for an owners that say, like, we need competitive balance and we need salary caps. When you look at the Tampa Bay Rays, like, not sure they could do much better, except for, of course, win a World Series. But other than that, like, they check all the boxes during the regular season. So we'll see.
We'll
Hey, that's
see.
coming this year.
Maybe that
Knock on wood,
rotation,
man.
pitching always outplays hitting in October. That's been pretty like well documented. So the rotation that they have certainly, especially if McClanahan comes back and can pitch well. I know he had that rehab start. I think it was yesterday now, right? 3 innings. So his return
Yep.
looks pretty imminent. So you would think that you need just enough offense, and they have just enough offense. They have guys. Hicks has been a nice addition. Obviously, Junior's always a big threat. So they have the offense that necessary and just a rotation that could be elite, really, when it's all clicking and they're healthy.
Yeah. And Liam Hicks has been an incredible addition to this lineup. It's made it feel so much
Yes.
deeper. It's and crazy. I'm assuming you were following the trade deadline as a whole. Did you key in on the Rays trade deadline at all?
Yeah,
What'd you think of
they
it?
yes. I mean, I thought that if there's one place where fastball Freddie was going to get his fastball back, it was going to be Tampa Bay, probably, right?
Yep.
And I know he had a bad debut, but he did go 6 innings for the first time in like a really long time in his last start. So I think that's encouraging. I think Tampa obviously thought that they could fix him or they wouldn't have acquired him. I was a little disappointed that the Rays or the Brewers didn't go out and get Scooble. Because I think, if you get this close, I think those are teams that are consistently good teams, but never great teams. Like, are they good enough to beat the Dodgers? Well, right now you could say yes, because the Dodgers are sliding and the Rays are red hot, but it's a different story come mid to late October, right? So, I do think the Rays made some good additions. I do think Hicks was a great addition. I'm curious to see how this group holds up. You don't want to be playing your best baseball now, right, guys? Like, it's great they're on this run, but there's always there's always a little downhill on the slope. They're right at the top of the coaster, and there's always a little bit of a downhill. And so you hope that, maybe they get that over with in September, because October is really about what team is the hottest. Can Tampa Bay win it all? Absolutely. The Dodgers look fallible, right? We've seen they have clear holes, that there are ways to beat them. But you just want to hope that like you're not pulling a Red Sox where you're playing so far above your skis that all of a sudden you're going to come back down to earth at the wrong time. I don't think that's happening. I think we're still 6 weeks out from the postseason even starting. Like I said, the Rays have been good all year. It's not like they went on this crazy last month tear. I do think they've set themselves up well. I think their front office is one of the best, one of the most savvy in baseball. So it looks like it's going to be an exciting October. I know Rays fans have um, they always seem to be in it. And I think what's cool about the Rays is that they always are a pesky team and they don't beat themselves. And that is really hard in October. They're a team that bunts. They're a team that I watched them when they swept the Orioles earlier this year win that game by stealing home. Remember that wild game? Like they do those little things that so many teams don't do. And I think that is because of the way they prioritize fundamentals and they prioritize that stuff in the system. They're able to take prospects that are good and they turn them into great prospects. And that's why their minor league system is consistently ranked so high. And that's why guys come up and continue to get better that you've never heard of.
Yeah, I mean it's we came in our first episode. We recorded our first episode in the middle of spring training in like March. we set the high water mark for this year's Rays at 84 wins. Like we're still in shock. We didn't, we
Yeah.
thought they would have to do
Yeah,
a lot
we're
to get right
guilty.
above 500. Yeah, and
Weren't we all?
yeah. I mean, it's truly blown away. Like we didn't. I mean, Nick Martinez had an ERA of like 16 in spring training. We're all freaking out.
Yeah.
Gavin Lux still hasn't played this year. Like who's going to fill the void at second base with Brendan Lau leaving? So it's a
Jake
lot of.
Fraley went down early.
Yep.
Question
Yeah.
marks behind, home plate. But like you said, this team could beat you in a lot of different ways. And for a team that doesn't have much power, it's been a really fun team to watch play baseball on a day-to-day basis. It's fun to see how they're beating all these teams in a very non-traditional way.
Like,
Yeah.
and I can follow it up with. We just talked about the Rays shortcomings in October. They have not won a home playoff series with fans since the ALCS in 2008. So that ties me in too. Britt, what's your tie in as far as the Rays?
I was there 2008 at the ALCS. For those who aren't aware, got my start straight out of college. I graduated at Michigan State December of 2007, and I got the MLB.com internship. I had Tampa Bay top of list. I have family who live there, and I figured I could live there and cover the Rays. And I also thought that if I picked, I'm from Connecticut, like the New York teams, that there was probably a much bigger list. People were probably clamoring to cover the Yankees or the Mets or any of those teams where I could live at home and commute. So I got the Tampa job, and that was back when they had Al Lang Field. They had spring training right there in St. Pete. So I said, "Listen, I graduated in December. Can I start like right away?" I was making a cool $500 a week, like living large, like a college grad. And MLB said, "Sure, that's fine." So I was with the '08 Rays from the first day of spring training all the way through that magical World Series run, where obviously ultimately they lost to the Phillies. But watching that team, even in spring training, and I remember older reporters being like, "You don't know anything." Like it's because they won that year in spring training.
Yeah,
If you guys recall, they
yeah,
also like started a fight with the Yankees,
Started a
and they like
fight. Yep.
were very much like we're tired of being pushed around. And I like ate it up. This was my first time being in a big league clubhouse interviewing players. I remember the first day, Bill Chastain, the former Rays beat reporter for MLB, was like, "Go interview Evan Longoria," and I was like, "What? I could just go over there and talk to him?" Like it was wild to me. Like 3 months ago, I was partying in Vegas with my college friends. Now I get to do this. So, and I remember just saying like, "Wow, this team is so fun," and they seem to be winning. And everyone's like, "It's spring training. It doesn't count. You don't know what you're talking about." But then they kept winning. And they kept winning. And everyone, I think, kept waiting for that shoe to drop in '08. But they had such a fantastic mix in that clubhouse of veteran guys. Like they signed Cliff Lloyd and Eric Hinsky. And they were able to piece together this bullpen full of like kind of virtual no names. Like at the time anyway, like Grant Balfour was like not a guy who was like high on anyone's agenda. JP Howell was a failed starter and they put him in the bullpen. Andy Sonnenstein was kind of a swing man back and forth. And they like everybody on that team seemed to do just enough. Scott Kazmir, James Shields in that rotation, like really headed it up. And Joe Madden created this culture of like, why not us? And everybody bought into that. He was the perfect manager for that team. And everybody on that team, it felt like a high school baseball team, guys. I mean, every trip they had like a theme, and it was like way to the max of like, Ed Hardy, remember Ed Hardy shirts? Like there were Ed
yeah.
Hardy t-shirts and matching jeans, and like they would all get into it and like vote on what was coming next. And like it was very much, you never saw, and I've never seen, and I've been covering baseball since '08, that kind of closeness in a clubhouse, that kind of camaraderie. This was obviously pre-social media, so guys weren't scrolling on their phones and guys had to talk to each other. And 2008, I remember, was a big deal because the interest was so high. And if you look at the Rays outside of their inaugural season, their highest attendance was in 9 and 10 because '08 just for so many people like made them fall in love with the Tampa Bay Rays. And I remember in '08 it was a big deal that they took off the tarp off the upper deck seats because so many people wanted to go to these playoff games. It was like such a big deal for the whole city. Everyone was falling in love with them. And I think that's where that fan base like finally came alive and was like, wait, we are good. And also this is a great team to root for. They had Evan Longoria, who was like this hotshot prospect. David Price, if you remember that year, came up in the bullpen. That used to be like the thing, was for starters to come up and start in the bullpen. right? So like you look at that team and it was a bunch of like really young guys and just the right mix of veterans and then just also guys who had been like passed over. Like that Scott Kazmir trade was a terrific trade for them because he always had that potential and just hadn't been able to put it together. And that was just a magical run. And I remember in Boston they were down, I think was at the CS when they had the huge home run by Dan Johnson. And it was guys like that you're like, wait, what? Who? You know,
Yeah.
like you never felt like they were going to lose these games, which is why it was a shock, still a shock that they lost that World Series because it felt like the run was never going to end.
Yeah.
They just found ways to win games. So they are similar, a little similar to this year's team, in that they can beat you so many ways and they can beat you with guys that, like, again, most of the country has never heard of. And I remember thinking, like, how many people in Boston are Googling, like, Dan Johnson, right? And they're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And why did he
David
ruin our
Price.
lives? Right.
Who's
Like, it was
Fernando
just.
Perez. Like, yes.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. Fernando Perez. That was a guy who like literally made things happen with his glove and with his legs. And he got into the media a little bit afterwards. And like I always said to him, was that the most fun you ever had playing? He's like, Brittany, without a doubt, the most fun. He was a really smart, cerebral player. And that was just such a fun mix. Like, honestly, guys, I was an intern, as I mentioned. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life or my career. The Tampa Bay Rays, the 2008 Tampa Bay Rays made me fall in love with baseball, made me want to cover Major League Baseball as a beat, like forever. I was like, I cannot believe that people get paid to do this. And then, of course, I got the job with the Orioles. 2 years later, they fire their manager and they're terrible. And I'm like, okay, I get why you get paid now. This is a real job. This is a tiring, real job.
Everybody hates me
Rays.
now.
Yes, everyone hates me. Everyone's angry all the time. People don't realize in '08, like when teams that are the best teams to be around are not the Dodgers. They are the teams that are not supposed to win that win. Like this year's Chicago White Sox. Those
Yeah.
teams that have the low expectations that fly over them are playing with house money. The Dodgers have to win. So it's not that fun when they win. The clubhouse is like business as usual. Like the Yankees were like that. In '09, I was around them a little bit and it was kind of like, you know, the same kind of vibes. We're supposed to win. The pressure's on us. The Rays were not like that because nobody expected the Rays to win. So every time they won, every time they got a little closer to the playoffs, it was a huge deal. Them clinching the playoffs was an enormous deal. And I remember they had a slide a little bit in that September and people were waiting for them to just like fold because this wasn't supposed to happen. I remember Cliff Lloyd and Eric Hinsky were just like, no, we're not panicking. Teams like, we're good. We know we're good. And that was the value of having those veterans. And I always thought about that. Like when I watched the Orioles in 2023 run away with the AL East and then get swept out of the playoffs, they didn't have any veterans. People didn't
Right.
realize how important that was to have the older guys that had been there before be like, no, this is just like a bad week or two in September. We're fine, you know? And I think that people nowadays just have no way to quantify that, have no way to quantify how much clubhouse matters, how much managers matter, how much chemistry matters, how much all of these things matter. But the 2008 Rays had it all, man. It was just a magical, a completely magical year that made me fall in love with baseball and change the trajectory of my entire life, probably.
I mean, well,
How cool is this,
that gave
Elijah?
man, that gave me goosebumps because it's literally like, yeah, sixth and seventh
Britt.
grade. Like my to this day, my two childhood best friends, one's a Red Sox fan, one's a Yankee fan. So I had to wear it for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then '08 happened, you know. Now I can talk shit. Be like, yeah, this is we can win now. This feels good. So
So it
yes, but
started it all, man. The culture
started
from that team
Yeah.
is still around today, and yeah,
uniforms, everything. Like we both
Yes,
both
yes,
sat.
that was the year they dropped the devil.
Yep.
It was just like
Yep.
everything.
Like we
They just
It's a
kind of evolved
new
into
age of
everything.
Rays
yeah.
baseball. Yeah.
Like we both sat
Yes.
obstructed view in the playoffs where they pulled the
Mm-hmm.
tarps back. So like that
Oh,
whole yeah, man. Like
Game
Yeah.
two of the World Series, man. I was not even in the upper deck, or the bleachers up there. I was up there for Game
Yeah.
two of the World Series, the only only World Series game at the time that the Rays had won. Pretty cool. But there probably hasn't been an episode that we've done of this podcast here where we haven't talked about the '08 team. So this is super cool for us. I appreciate it. This
that's
is
our
Oh
favorite.
yeah,
This is
I love the
super
away team. And
awesome.
Johnny Gomes, another huge
Oh
like
yeah.
clubhouse presence. And it was no coincidence to me that he was always on winners. He was just like that kind of player. He was a guy
Yep.
who maximized his talent and knew that a lot of his value wasn't between the lines, it was off the field, and he did a great job with that. Like I think one time he got them all like matching bathrobes, like
Yep.
really nice
Yep.
bathrobes, and they wore them on
Yep.
like a road trip. And like he was really good with the younger guys. He was a guy who wasn't afraid to take guys under his wing and like kind of show them the ropes or talk after a bunch of bad losses and wear it. And so they had a lot of those guys. But the '08 Rays were, I mean, as I told you guys before we started taping, the two champagne bottles that you see behind me are from when they clinched, when they were going on to the ALCS and when they were going on to the World Series. The one up there in the corner is from the first round. And these, if you let me get one down for anyone that's actually watching, have the little authentication sticker on them
Oh,
because
awesome.
Man,
otherwise it's just a bottle of champagne. So they
yeah,
were actually in there. Westy, who was their equipment guy, was like, hey, a bunch of these guys wanted you to have these. And I was an intern. And so I think they were like, well, might never be back. I was only getting paid by the week. So every time the Rays won in the playoffs, guys, I got another paycheck. So like nobody was pulling harder than your girl right here because it was like, well, if they keep playing, people were joking. It was like the intern who never left because if they had been eliminated, I'd been done the end of September. But they kept winning and winning and winning and winning. And they actually had a parade that year, even though they lost. They had a parade in downtown St. Pete.
yeah. I
And I
was
remember
there.
covering that. Yes.
Yeah,
And I remember getting paychecks in November from MLB. And it was like, man, I got a whole extra like 6 weeks worth of pay because the Rays were so good. And like, I didn't want that season to end. And when it ended, it was crushing because MLB kept 3 interns. I wasn't one of them. And I really had to like kind of fight my way through freelancing. And, it wasn't an easy thing to come down from. And I was like, I can't give this up. This was a high, and I think a lot of fans who watch that run are still kind of chasing that high. Like, can we see that again? Can that happen again? Because they were a terrific underdog story. They're always going to be a terrific underdog story because of the way they go about things, because of the way that market operates. And, I think if you talk to guys on that team, they'll tell you that those memories like will forever just be a part of them. I was so blessed to be able to have a front row seat to watch that team because truly, I know Joe Madden won with the Cubs, but I think if you ask him about the '08 Rays, like what that meant, like that's got to be probably right below winning it in Chicago and breaking the curse because it was just such an incredible thing to see. And I really hope the Tampa Bay does win a World Series. I hope they do get there. I think the knock was always like, well, if they're good, will the fans come? And '08 answered that.
yeah,
Like, if they are good and they're exciting and they have a real chance, fans will come and they will take the tarps off the seats and people will show up. And Tampa is a baseball area. And I know that's like long been an issue there or something that like a lazy take in my mind. Like, I think people do care. People do want to go to those games. And especially if the Rays are good, and if they think that the Rays have a chance. And right now, I don't know how you can't look at this team and think that they don't have a chance to go all the way.
yeah. Like Hunter, you just bought tickets this weekend. They ran out of lower level tickets, so they're opening the upper deck for the Orioles series this weekend.
Nice.
So it's
I
it's
have
almost
not
like
been up
'08
there
again.
since, God, when was that? Randy stole home in that playoff game against the Red Sox. That was the last time I was
21,
in the
yeah,
upper deck. 21,
5
yeah.
years ago.
It's never opened.
Wow.
It's
They closed it
Wow.
permanently. When was that? 2017? 16?
say 17.
17?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wanted to
Interesting.
make it more intimate, but
Yeah.
it is
Britt,
what
have
it
you
is.
been back to the Trop?
Yes. Well, because once I got the Orioles job, the beat job in 2010, I used to go back
True,
it
you're
felt
going
like,
there.
before the schedule was balanced, it felt like we were there all the time. And then for the first couple of years, like I knew so many of the guys that I'd always go over there and say hi. And then like slowly the team kind of like, you don't know anybody there anymore. And I used to always joke around with Longoria, like he could never retire because he was the last guy playing from the '08 team. And then all of a sudden I would like officially be old. And obviously he hung on for a pretty long time. Obviously had nothing to do with me, but he hung on for quite a while. And it was always cool to go back because there are always like some of the same people there. Like the guy doing the security in the home clubhouse was there for a really long time. Dukes in the press box was there for a
Yep,
really long time.
Duke is
So
still
it's just
there.
like really cool to go back there. And I used to always, at least once a series, just walk around the stadium and just kind of like reminisce and remember. Like I have a lot of stuff. The media guide still from '08. I think I had, oh, I do. I have it right here. Guys, I'm not lying when I say I'm all about the '08 Rays. I got it right here. I forgot
Man,
they had
Oh,
me
so
too.
Aki.
cool.
I forgot Jason
Aki.
Bartlett was on that
Yep.
team. Like
Jason Bartlett's one
everybody,
of my
yeah.
favorite Rays of all time.
Yep.
Yeah, like there was just like such a great group of guys. Yeah, I have it right here with some of my baseball stuff, but I have the World Series program and all that stuff. But yeah, I just think that I do go back a lot. I do love working there. It's a great place to work. I haven't been there now in a couple years because I left the beat in 2018. So unless I have a specific story, I don't head down there. But it's interesting because I think Eric Neander was an intern in '08.
Wow,
So we've
I didn't know
talked
that.
about
That's
that.
crazy.
Yes, yes. So I didn't know him. I was also an intern, but obviously he was in baseball ops. And we've talked about that before. They're like, "Oh yeah, I was there. Were you there? Oh, okay. So we must have walked by each other or shared elevators at some point. We just didn't know who each other was. And now we're still doing this, which is kind of a cool
Good for
thing.
you
Obviously, a
guys.
lot. I know. I was like, "Oh, you were there in '08." And then I think I told Peter Bendix that, and he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't there yet." I'm like, "Okay, well, I feel old, so thank you for that." I think he was there maybe the year after, maybe 2 years after. I'm not
Think
entirely
so.
positive, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, but yeah, Eric has been there since that '08 season, and yeah, it's interesting that that front office has really they've lost people, but they keep chugging along. And if you talk to people, like the culture there was so important that was created. And Andrew Friedman was there obviously in '08 when I was there. Went on to the Dodgers, has done terrific things, but the people underneath have not missed a beat. And they don't really lose people out of that like main front office. But if you look at the people in like player development and scouting and like a lot of those people stay for life. And when you talk to those people, it's because of the way the Rays treat people. Brandon Hyde, the former Orioles manager, is there now as a like special advisor, special assistant, something in that general realm. And he's talked about how they treat you, the way they treat you stands out. Like there is no secret sauce except for how they treat people and how they go about their business and they do things the right way and they're a classy organization. And I think that stands out. Eric Neander, I think, is one of the nicest, like best front office people in the game. And I think, it starts from there and it kind of radiates down. So they're an easy team, I think, if you're a fan to pull for because they don't have the money to spend on the big free agents. I think everyone knows that. But they don't skimp when it comes to like player stuff and supporting players. They were one of the first teams to have like sports psychologists at their minor league levels, and like they do the little things right that makes people feel appreciated in lieu of like spending the hundreds of millions of dollars on the Juan Sotos of the world.
I mean, yeah, the culture rolls on. Like I worked for the Rays for 9 years. Like I was the receptionist for four, so I got to see everybody every day. And like even when I still run into Eric Neander, it's like, hey man, how you doing? How's your family? Like everybody still treats everybody awesome. So, but I wanted to have a little fun. How did your first day on the beat go during spring training at '08?
Okay, so this is actually a great question. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this story before or not. But my
Yep.
first day, I was running late. Um, and my aunt lives in Bradenton, so you got to kind of like, people who know, right? It's a good little drive.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm like running late, and I'm like, shit, it's my first day. Like it's early in the morning. Spring training clubhouse is like super early. It's like 7 in the morning. It's totally different than the baseball schedule. So I'm like, oh my God, that's like flooring it. And then I'm in the middle lane. And I'm like, oh shit, that's my exit. So I'm like, I cut off this car and I just get off the exit and the car behind me. I don't even see who's in it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Pull into the lot, get my parking, whatever. And I get into the clubhouse and Edwin Jackson's like, hey. And I'm like, hi, I'm the new intern. Nice to meet you. And he's like, you cut me off on the highway. And I'm like, what? Did I? And he's like, yeah, that's right. You were speeding along, just like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And so the rest of the year, and I've covered Edwin Jackson on multiple teams because he's been on, 1,000
Yeah.
teams before he retired. He called me Speedy the rest of the year. Never let it go. And still like
That's how
brings it
nicknames are
up.
born.
Yes, still brings it up. So that's how my first day went. And I'm pretty sure that was also the day that Bill Chastain was like, go talk to Evan Longoria. And I'm like, don't. This is when like that housewife show was really big, and I'm like, don't call him Eva, don't call him Eva, don't call him Eva, don't call him Eva. Like in the back of my mind the whole time. I never did, but it's like he was my first big league interview. And I'll never forget it because I was like super nervous. I asked him three like probably super dumb, benign questions in this like tiny little locker room at Al Lang, and he was super nice about it. He was, a big prospect. The big deal was like, was he going to make the team? Was he not going to make the team? That was like one of the big storylines that spring.
It's
And
crazy.
so yes, and I remember as soon as I got like a lunch break and like everyone went to eat, I like went like outside so nobody would hear me, and I called my dad and I just like geeked out and I was like, Dad, you will never believe they let you in the locker room, they let you talk to the players. This is unbelievable. And then we got to get the manager after this. Like it's unbelievable. Like I couldn't believe it. And so my dad's a big sports fan. Obviously I grew up in Connecticut, and he saved and printed out every single, my aunt did this too, article I wrote, which was on the Tampa Bay Rays website, and made like a little scrapbook for me. I still have the scrapbook. It's in my closet over here. But yeah, it was just like I like couldn't believe it. I was so geeked out the whole year, really for years after that. They're like, "What? I cannot believe baseball's got the best access for those who are not familiar." So back then, it's changed a little now, but you used to get like a long time, like an hour plus in the morning on the road. And I got to go to some road games, especially Miami, because you could drive. You would have like 2 hours in there with them. So you'd get to know guys, you'd have conversations, they'd get to know you, and it would like help better inform your stories. Or you would save a little nugget about like a guy learning guitar or something for another feature story. So my first day, I remember those three things happening: cutting off Edwin Jackson, interviewing Evan Longoria, and calling my dad and being like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that this is what you get to do. They could have paid me nothing and it would have been totally fine."
That is incredible. And now Evan Longoria is part of the Tampa Bay Rays Hall of Fame. I don't know if you
Yes, I
saw that.
saw
Yeah,
that. I
number
did.
retired. Yeah,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah, I
make you
thought it
feel
was
old or
very
anything,
cool.
but
I know. And I did see that and I was like, man, I did not like realize it was happening. I'm like, man, I should have advanced planned. I should have tried to have been there. I felt the same way when they honored the '08 team. I'm like, oh my God, so many of these guys that I would have
yeah,
been all up in my feels. Like it would have been great to see everybody. But so now I have to like make sure I keep tabs on when they're doing this stuff so that I know. Like
I'll
the
let you know when
I
Nationals,
was about to say you
yeah,
got me and
you'll let me
Elijah
know?
now, so we'll keep you
Yeah,
in the
you
yeah,
send me
loop.
those emails so that I can make plans to be down there.
right.
Because,
Yeah, I'll let you know when
like,
the '08 reunion is. Trust me. That
yeah, I was like,
yeah,
man. I mean, I'm assuming they'll do in 28, the
yeah.
20 year,
That'll be the
right?
last year of the dome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming
That'll
that
be,
they'll do it then.
yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I would like to be not included, but I would like to make sure
Yeah.
I'm there
Oh,
so
for
that
sure.
I can see everyone and everyone can be like, "Holy shit, are we old? This happened 20 years ago."
Absolutely.
Really
Evan, do you remember
crazy.
the first interview in spring training?
Exactly. Edwin Jackson be like, "Oh, I still remember you cutting me off. Don't you worry about that." So that
Are you
that
still driving
definitely would
crazy?
still be a
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Like they were I like I said, I was 21 years old and they were such a great team to be around because as I told you guys off air, Cliff Lloyd and Eric Hinsky were like, I was a female. This was almost 20 years ago now. There weren't I was pretty much the only female in every press box. Sometimes there were PR people, but pretty much the only female like reporter. And they were like, and I was their age, and I remember like stressing about what I should wear, how I should look, and I got really dressed up every day. I wore heels every day, which I also took a lot of shit for from the players, which I don't do anymore. But I was just determined to like look the part, like look old, look mature, look like I belonged. I was a real reporter, and they were like, "Hey, if anyone gives you problems or you have any issues, you come to us." And that was the first time it's only happened to me twice where someone has like said that. The second time was in DC with Mike Rizzo, and I never had any issues in Tampa Bay, and I never had any issues in Washington DC. And I think because you have people that are in power kind of set the tone. And I knew that they meant it. I knew if somebody was like made a remark or was inappropriate or whatever, that I could go to Cliff and go to Hinsky and they would just completely take care of it. And it would never be an issue again. And I'm really fortunate that I had that experience because I think if I didn't have that experience, like, would I have wanted to pursue this, right? Like, would I have wanted this job if I had been hazed or if no one took me seriously or whatever? But they were all so nice. I mean, I was hazed. It felt like borderline hazed, but it was more like friendly, nice hazing than that. So I do really appreciate that. I do think about that because, I try to make it easier for women coming up. It's so much better now than it was. But again, this is the days of social media, before social media really got big, and it was definitely a different vibe in there. And those guys like went out of their way to make sure that like we know you belong, like we're gonna respect you, we're gonna treat you like any other reporter. For the most part, I got a lot of jokes about my age or cutting guys off, or if I got a haircut, it was like a huge deal. I chopped my hair one day, and Hinsky's like, "Everyone tell you that looks good, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, everyone." He's like, "You let me know," and I'm like, Eric, it's fine if someone doesn't like my haircut. It's fine." But they were just very overprotective. It's very nice.
That's how you know they all liked you, though. If they
Yes,
weren't
yes,
giving
they're
you
great.
shit, you'd be concerned.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, I wanted just the right amount of shit, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes, and there was a lot of funny guys on that team. That team was just a great mix, and I think a lot of that is Joe Madden, right? People are not afraid to
Yeah.
be themselves. He's not afraid to be himself, and have a glass of wine in his office and talk about every time they won two of three that Meatloaf said that ain't bad, and he would just that was just Joe Madden, and I think that was such a good experience too as a beat reporter to have somebody who wanted to talk all the time. As you guys have seen, like that's not always the case with managers. Kevin Cash, I think, doesn't get the national appreciation that he should. Is he the longest tenured manager in the AL? He's
He
up.
is.
He
Yep.
Francona.
is. No,
Oh
but
no,
he switched
AL, yes,
No.
teams.
AL, yes,
Yeah, AL.
AL, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like Francona is still managing, but he switched teams and leagues.
Right.
Right.
But like I
Same
think,
team, yes.
and Francona took a break too.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
I didn't cover Kevin Cash as a beat reporter, but I think that they, I think they've done the same thing there. Where like again with the continuity, like you can't tell me that Kevin Cash couldn't have left years ago for more money in a bigger market. I
Hmm.
think it's the way that they treat people. And I think that that just emanates from the whole organization. And then that's always been something they valued, even back to the Joe Madden days. So it's a really cool organization, I think, to be a
Yeah.
part of. And I'm just forever grateful that I checked Tampa on my list and that they gave me Tampa.
So cool.
We're glad to have you. I remember reading your article. I forgot when it came out, but even then, I was like, man, it just took me back because, of course, we're both enthralled with the '08 teams. Like anything '08 Rays, I'm locked in. So very, very, very grateful. What
Remember
was the
the
most? Yeah, what was the most underrated part of the '08 clubhouse? Like any. I know the bullpen was crazy. You had Balfour, you had
Bullpen
Howell,
was
like
crazy.
throwing stuff. But
Yeah.
anything
fights?
else that
Bell.
You
you
got
anything else that you
Johnny
can?
Gomes on your team
Yeah.
in the middle of a
Oh
fight, and he was
yeah,
always right in the
yeah.
middle of it.
Well, who was that one reliever who got in trouble? Al something. He was briefly
Oh,
on the
Al
team.
Reyes. Al
Yes.
Reyes. Yeah.
Yes. So he got in trouble, and then the next day they like totally messed with him. They had like a plant with like I forget what exactly happened to him. I forget now.
I
Um,
forgot what happened with him. I
he
know he got in trouble or
he
something.
got in trouble somehow, and they totally messed with him the next day, and it was just like so 08 Rays. They had like a plant with like a note, like just giving him shit. I forget exactly what it was. That was an underrated part of that team was like their ability to take like what could have been a bad moment and just be like,
Flip it into
let's
something good.
yeah, let's just give you a lot of shit for that, you know? I think was Gabe Kapler on that team?
Yep.
No, no,
Yeah.
he wasn't on the '08
Huh.
team. He was
Was
on
he
the
Was he?
Brewers.
09?
He was on the Brewers.
Was
He
he
was on the
09?
Sabathia Brewers.
Are
'09,
you
yeah,
sure
'cause
he
that's when
wasn't?
Oh
Keuchel.
nine. Okay.
Yeah, because
He
he was on
wasn't
the
around it?
Keuchel no-hitter team.
Okay, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I covered Gabe as a player, so he wasn't on 08 at all?
No,
I'm
he was with Sabathia's Brewers in '08.
Okay.
didn't we?
Because he was
I'm
an
pretty sure
interesting,
he
maybe I'm
was,
confusing
man.
my years. He was a pretty interesting character too.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard.
didn't
Wow.
did not have him being like a manager and front office guy someday. He was an interesting guy. I'm trying to think of who underrated. Andy Sonnenstein was hysterical in a really like dry way that
Yeah.
I don't think people got to see that personality too much because he was like kind of camera shy. But he was like a really funny guy. Scott Casimir was a really generous guy. He used to buy guys a lot of like guys who didn't have the money. He would buy a lot of the like dress up stuff that people went
Awesome.
on. He would pick up like tabs. Cliff was like that too. But they were really the veterans did a really good job, I think, of making the guys who didn't have a lot of money feel welcome. I'm trying to think of who else. Like what
What
else was
about the most?
underrated?
What about the most
The
underrated
Mohawks.
player? The
Oh, the
Rayhawks.
Mohawks.
Man,
The Mohawks were a real thing. Most underrated player in terms of like personality or just like
Or,
guys.
just meaningful to the team, not only on the field but helped the team off the field. Just a guy who wasn't necessarily in the spotlight that helped that team make it to where they did.
Yeah, oh God, there were so many. I feel like every time JP Howell came in, he was always like a guy who had managed to get big outs for them, even though he didn't get the attention that Balfour did. Because Balfour would
Hmm.
come out and be swearing at himself at the mound, and like he was like, a little Max Scherzer before Max Scherzer was really Mad Max, right? Like Grant Balfour did it first. Like I remember covering Max in DC and being like, I've seen scary pitchers before. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe
told
that
Orlando
Grant
Cabrera
was
to sit
also a
the fuck
little.
down. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
yeah. Grant was
man.
also insane because he was Australian, and you were like, God, this guy would like, I think, wrestle a crocodile or something. Like he's a little unhinged, but in a good way. So he was obviously a huge part of that team as well. I think like some of the Hinskys and the Floyds of the world were a big deal, but the Bartlett Aki double play combo we didn't even really get to, and I feel like
Yeah,
that was a huge deal
yeah.
because I feel like Jason Bartlett was kind of a throwaway. Like, didn't they
Mhm.
get him from Minnesota? And it was like a deal that was like kind of like
Yeah.
whatever.
The
Got him in
Delvin
the
Um,
Young trade
got him in the
trade.
Delman Young trade.
Yeah.
Got
yes,
Matt
and this
Garza in
is
that trade too.
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, I forgot about Matt Garza.
Yeah.
Hmm. The
Real
spitter.
interesting personality. Matt Garza was. Yes, I forgot about Matt Garza. He was another guy who,
The whole
like, when he
team.
was locked in, you were gonna see like greatness. You never knew
Oh
what you were
yeah.
gonna get for him, but like when he was like in, man, he was another guy that like I wouldn't want to mess around when he was having a good day. So yeah, he He is another guy. The Bartlett-Aki combo, though, I feel like was underrated unless you watch the '08 Rays
Oh,
like regularly, because you're like,
yep,
okay, neither one of these guys were like stars at any other stop, but they were like a huge part of that '08 team. Because if you remember, that rotation was good, but these were like not the days in '08 where pitchers were just strikeout guys. These were a
Yeah.
lot of contact guys. Casimir was known for
yep.
the strikeouts. I remember every time he pitched, it was like maybe you'll get 10 Ks and get the free food or whatever it
Yep.
was.
Yep. They
Um,
still
Free
do it.
Free
pizza back
pizza,
then.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Casimir was always your best shot. It was like, okay,
Yep.
we're rolling out Andy Sonnenstein. Like that guy's gonna you're gonna have to make the plays behind him, you know. So it felt like that Bartlett and Aki really set the tone, and they're not known as the stars at all of that team, but they made so many great defensive plays because the Rays, it feels like, I've always valued defense. And by the way, the Twins also gave JJ Hardy away to the Orioles, so I want to know what they've been like. Those two shortstops you guys slept on, two, which was another throwaway, like straight up fleecing. But yeah, I think that those two guys to me stand out as guys who like again, quiet guys that didn't like attract a lot of spotlight. Bartlett in particular, like kind of shy, super nice guy. And oh my God, I forgot that they had Carlos Pena on that team too. Guys,
Like
Carl
guys,
Crawford
Carlos
was our,
Crawford,
Pena.
yeah,
BJ
Carl
Carl Crawford
Upton,
was our
Rocco
favorite,
Carl,
Baldelli.
favorite player. Yeah.
Carl had one of the. It's funny. I feel like, oh my God, I feel like we're like reliving my not childhood. I was a
Oh,
grown
we're
adult,
eating
but
this up, trust me.
reliving in my past. Carl Crawford had one of the best quotes ever, where he was like, it was you know, the '08 Rays. He's like, it's like sleeping on the ground, like on a concrete floor, to sleeping in a brand new duvet queen bed. Like he always had great quotes. Like we win. There was some big spread on the road, I remember once,
Yeah.
and it was like this great spread of all this food, and Carl's like, damn, we must be winning. It's like a fucking family reunion in here. And I'm like, what? What?
Oh, that
Carl
sounds
always
like
had these like,
Carl.
he never tried to be like funny, but he always had these great one-liners. You're like, oh my God, I gotta write that down. And then of course Carl's son is in Philly. I saw him earlier this year. I was like, I don't mean to be
How
weird, but I
ironic is
loved your
that?
dad.
Yeah.
I covered your dad, not to sound super old. He was like, okay, whatever. Carlos Pena, one of the nicest human beings, one of the best quotes from a player ever. It was like he knew what you needed and dialed it up, you know? He'd be like, oh, we played with this, like our hearts were so in it, and we played with the city on our backs. And if you remember, the big deal with Carl was that he almost didn't make the team in spring training. I think it was
Carlos, yeah.
was it that spring or the spring prior? But
Oh,
there was like a
spring before.
last minute injury. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was
Yeah.
never supposed to be this huge part of the Rays, and he ended up being a huge part of the Rays. He was also the best dressed by far, I feel like. But everyone said his wife dressed him, so
That
I
makes
couldn't really
sense.
give him that much props. Everyone's like, that doesn't count, Brittany. His wife dressed him. I was like, whatever. The guy always looks like he stepped out of a GQ magazine. My people, like I can appreciate that, you know. So God, everyone on that team had felt like had the pieces fit. And we don't always
Yeah.
see that in baseball, right? We see teams that are really talented. We see teams that are really good, but sometimes the pieces don't always fit. And oh wait, the pieces fit. Everybody on that team, like we just went through this, like everyone on that team played a huge part. Everyone on that team won them games.
Yeah.
And that's how they got to where they got to, right? It was like a sum of the parts. Because I haven't gone back, or maybe I should, look at that team's like war, because it wasn't a thing back in the day. But like I would love to know who was their top like player or two. Because it felt like every single guy you mentioned, I'm like, oh, they wouldn't have won without him. Oh my God, they wouldn't have gone anywhere without him. You know?
Yeah.
They were really a sum of their parts kind of team, and everybody just fit somehow.
I mean, they had guys like Ben Zobrist on the bench.
Oh, Zobrist. That was, yeah, another guy who, I forget who it was, but somebody told it, I think it was Carlos. Somebody was like, yeah, you got to swing hard on every pitch. And he's like, wait, what? That's what we do? And then he just became this guy who all of a sudden like hit for Bauer because he never knew like you're supposed to swing as hard as you can. And it totally changed his mindset. And that was
Imagine
that. Yeah. Zobrist. Oh yeah, that guy could play everywhere. I mean, it was just, I remember Madden calling him like Zorilla because he would go through these
Mhm.
stretch, yeah, where he was just like on fire. This feels like it was simultaneously 100 years ago and yesterday for me guys. Like,
Same. We were in
I,
middle school, so yeah, we
yeah, I
not
know,
to,
I
not
know.
to
I
age
feel
you,
real
but
old.
like this was
I know. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, everyone on that team, like I said, I'd love to know, like, I don't know if you guys, like who were the top players, because everybody on that team was important. Everyone on that team mattered.
baseball reference. Tell you
And
what, while I look that up, we would be remiss. We got to ask you about the Rays Red Sox brawl in '08.
the Rays what?
The Rays Red Sox when they fought the Red Sox at Fenway.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
The brawl.
Yeah,
The
the
brawl.
brawl. Yes, that was a wild time. I mean, I just feel like we said, the fight in spring training really started, and it was like, we're not gonna be pushed around anymore. And they had the guys that you didn't want to push around, right? Like, you don't want to get in a fight with Cliff Floyd. I don't want to be getting in a fight with Johnny Gomes. Like, this was a group that was like not afraid. And I think they were just tired of people being like, oh, the Devil Rays this and oh, that. And they were also just tired of people thinking that like they weren't going to win and that like none of their spring training success mattered, none of the regular season success. People kept waiting for them to fall. I do remember that brawl. That was yeah, I've seen a lot of brawls. There's some that stick out in your mind over time. That's one of them. Most of them involve the Red Sox that I remember like really well. Like I remember Kevin Gregg on the Orioles punching David
Yeah,
Ortiz
yeah,
when he came at him on the mound. The Red Sox are just a fightable team, I guess, right?
yeah.
Like I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
Most of the brawls I remember involved the Boston Red Sox for sure. But that
And
was a
Johnny
big one.
Gomes.
And Johnny
Yeah,
Gomes, yeah, that was a big one.
yeah. He
I
was in
think
that. He was in that Cardinals Reds one with Brandon
Yep.
Phillips and yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean,
He
yeah.
was in
you
another
know,
Red Sox one.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the
he
interesting thing
loved
about
it.
Johnny Gomes is like he wanted to be in the military and then he had like a little heart defect and couldn't. And I think he always had that mindset of like fight or flight. And he always just, like I said, maximized his potential and his talent and realized that like, okay, I'm not going to be like a middle of the order bat for most of these teams, but I can provide like a lot of other stuff. And he always did. Like he could back it up. So yeah, the '08 Rays were like not like a great group of guys to have in your corner, not a team that you wanted to mess with. And I think they sent a message like pretty loud and clear multiple times that season that they were like not to be messed with. And if that didn't scare you enough, they had the Australian guy swearing and screaming on the mound who like, you know, who again, like I said, was it's very, I don't know why no one's brought this, he's very Mad Max kind of esque kind of
yeah.
thing. And he also got into multiple
Mhm.
altercations, like verbal altercations with other teams. He also rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, the way he went about things. So they were a team that was like not afraid. They weren't scared anymore, I think was kind of the whole prevailing theme from spring training on. And of course nobody really like believed it, except I was like, wow, this sounds great. This team's winning. They say they're not scared. And I had that like nativity from not being around the team and from being new to the sport and ended up being true. Like they were a team that was tired of being treated like the doormat and it was such a cool experience, guys. I could talk about the '08 Rays all
Oh,
day.
I
I
love
love
it.
the '08 Rays.
We could too. I know you're busy. You're busy. You're momming.
I
I got
am.
the war numbers for you. So
Yes.
Pena, Longoria, and Upton were
All
the
right.
war leaders for the position players, and Shields, Casimir, and Garza were the war leaders for the pitching staff. So
Okay.
Pena was the leader at 5.1. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
So
Remember Longoria and Upton went nuts during what playoff series was that with the home
that was the
runs?
CS. Upton couldn't stop
CS.
home
Red
Was that the
running.
Sox.
Oh my
CS?
God, yeah. We
Yeah.
got the same birthday, so I've
Yeah,
always been.
BJ was such a up and down player that like he had so much potential and when he went nuts it was like, "Oh my God." And then there were stretches where he wasn't good, where he was pretty terrible. And it was just he was such a fascinating guy to cover too. I remember like I could walk into that clubhouse like it was yesterday, guys. I could tell you where everyone's lockers were. That's how like etched it is in my memory. He was in the corner with Crawford and Cliff and Edwin. They had their own little corner over there.
That's
Um
awesome.
and
What a corner.
if I went over there, I knew I was going to take shit, so I had to be in the right mood to go over there.
I was gonna say it'd be pretty bold of you to even step foot in that corner. So props to
Yeah,
you.
I was about to say,
you
yeah,
just like knew, and then like across the way were like a bunch of the relievers, and Balfour was on the end, and then there was JP. Casimir had the corner locker on the other side because he was one of the veterans. I mean,
Um,
I feel like I could walk into that place like it was yesterday. The first playoff game at Tropicana Field. Before I go, because I'm going to continue to geek out here. It's worth noting I was an intern, so like if this, I probably wouldn't accept any of these like gifts
yeah.
anymore as a real reporter. First off, I'm not that liked. Second off, there's just not that relationship anymore with media and reporters, it feels like. But James Shields, after we talked to him, after he pitched, he gave me the necklace that he was wearing and was like, "Here, do you want this?" And I was like, "Yes, sure.
oh,
Sounds
so
great."
cool.
Another super nice guy, another guy who was like really went out of his way to be good to me, to explain the game, to kind of like make sure that everyone treated me right. But like I remember being like, this is history right here. Like the first game of Tropicana Field, like this is history. And I remember my MLB bosses coming out and all these extra reporters and everyone being like, well, this was a nice story, but it's gonna end now. And it was like, no, actually, the Rays had other plans. It was just such a cool thing to see. that whole stadium come together. Like, I mean, I'm gonna get chills if we keep talking about it because I just don't
Ma-
know if I'll see outside of them losing. Like losing the World Series was terrible because it felt like that run deserved for them to win. And props to Philly, obviously. But it just I remember that snow day and like I was just
I was
like,
about to
God,
say, I
Man.
still to this
yes.
day blame Mother Nature for
Mhm.
the
Right?
downfall of
I
the
know. It
Rays.
just
Yeah.
feels like they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
That everything was
Yeah.
lined up for them.
They
That
win
team
game five, they
was
come back for 6 and 7 here, and then, but hey,
right.
it's baseball.
I know. It feels like we were wronged. It really does. Like I cannot believe that they didn't win the World Series because that team just seemed so destined. But maybe their best stories yet to be written. Maybe it's this season. And you'll look back. But I look back at '08 as like the time that so many people fell in love with the Tampa Bay Rays and with baseball, and certainly it was the case for me. I don't think I'll ever see that again. I don't think I'll ever have the relationships I have with a team like that team again. I just, so much has changed with COVID and just social media and the way players operate and stuff now. And, the wall goes up a little bit more each year. I tell people about '08 and they're just like, what? That stuff happens? They gave you that stuff? Like, what? Champagne bottles, necklaces? Like, what? Like, it just it doesn't happen, but I will be forever grateful for it because it was just an awesome experience. So if you watch the '08 Rays, if you like thought they were a cool team, you should know that they were 100 times better than you even thought. Like they were just a great group of guys. I remember when they landed at the airport, people greeted them, and that was like
Yeah,
another
I was
big
there.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah. Were you there? I
So
mean, it was
I
just
awesome.
was
like
there. Yeah.
such a cool experience the entire year to be in this like uncharted territory. So yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about. I knew we would maybe get into them a little, but I was like, I don't
Oh,
know, maybe they'll talk about the
Oh,
current race
that
too.
was top of the
this
list.
has been
Um,
Yeah.
awesome. Like since I came across your profile on TikTok, of course I subscribe to the Athletic, but
Thank
when
you.
you were talking about your '08 stories and your content there, I was like, wait a minute, she did cover the '08 Rays, and then of course that's how I met you and that's how we got this set up. But two quick
Yes.
stories, and then we'll let you go. I know you're busy. So first off, I want to give you your flowers because I always used to read your articles. I always used to like sneak off in my middle school library and read your articles on MLB. So I want to give you your flowers there. I know you'll like this story because you're a mom. I got a sinus infection the week before the ALDS. So my mom told me, was like, "Hey, you were sick last week. You can't go to game one. It is what it is. I'm sorry. You're gonna miss too much school." I go to school day of game, of course. Huge Rays fan. I'm decked out in my Rays gear. Around 11 o'clock that day, because of course it's the Rays. We get the day slot. Around 11 o'clock, Elijah Fluellen, we need you to come to the front office. I'm like, damn, what did I do now? Of course, I didn't get into that much trouble. My mom in the front office like, hey, we're going to the game. I'm like, what? Like she had my cowbell and my
Yes.
glove and everything. So yeah, there's stuff I'll never forget. But
Yes. I
oh,
love that.
nuts.
All I want for my kids is to like experience something like that like once in their lives, right? Just and this is why I wrote this column on the Athletic last week that like I feel like if you ask most fans if they'd rather a team that's good every year and gets eliminated every year or a team that wins the World Series but they're bad for 2 or 3 years after that. To me there's no question.
Oh,
Give me '08 and give me a World Series. Have that team win the World Series and I would suffer through as a fan 3 or 4 losing seasons
yeah,
easily
easy.
because those memories are
Yeah.
just. So I think that for the Rays, where they're stuck at now is not being able to win.
Make that jump.
Obviously, yes, not being able to go consistently. I know 2020 happened, but like not to, that was a weird year, not to consistently get deep into the playoffs and not to have people have those memories. Because I just think those are so special. Like being at the World Series game in the upper deck. Doesn't matter where you're sitting. Doesn't matter if you can't see. You're at the World Series and you're never going to forget that kind of stuff. And I hope that my kids get to experience that because as you guys both know, like it's not something that happens all the time. So I'm glad your mom did that because again, sinus infection be damned. As long as you weren't contagious, you should be there, sitting there, coughing and hacking and sneezing all over everybody in that section.
I'm gonna show her this too.
I love it.
But
I love
Britt,
it.
Hunter, you got anything else? You good?
No, yeah, I think I'm good.
I think we covered all our bases. Britt, thank you for your time. It's wonderful talking to you. Hopefully we run into you again in October. Hopefully we get on a run and we can speak to you again. But you've been awesome. Of course, we're
Yes.
running 20 minutes over. So gracious for your time again, and you know, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
All
Oh,
right.
wait, forever.
Oh, wait for
Yeah,
it.
I love it. That was super cool. Thank you so much.
Of course, it was so
Oh,
fun. Like I said, I could literally talk about them all day. They're how I got started. They're such a great memories, such a great team. So yes, I'll be there in
So could we.
2028.
So
I'm
there we
coming to
go.
the 20 year.
let's
I'm coming.
go.
They can't stop me. I'm coming to that 20 year. They're not going to try and stop me, but I'm coming. I'm going to tell Eric. I would like to be on the press release. I would like to know. Send me the press release,
There we
please.
go. Westy's still there. I'll give him your email. I'm still cool
Oh,
with
Westy
Westy.
is still
He's
there.
still
That's
there.
right.
Yep.
Dwayne
Yeah.
Stats, you got to know him, right? He's still
I
there.
do know Dwayne. Oh, and
Yeah.
Dan Wheeler was on that team. His
Yep.
Yep.
son-in-law.
Yep.
He had some good outs too. See, like everybody there, you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that guy was good.
Him, Trevor
And
Remember
Miller.
that
Okay, we
guy?
can really keep
yeah,
going. Let's. Yeah.
Grant
Yeah. Didn't
Balfour is
Percival
working
get
for the
hurt,
Rays now.
right?
Yep.
Didn't they
Percival
have
got
Percival
hurt.
get hurt? That's right. Yeah.
Chad
Yeah.
Bradford was on that
Yeah.
team. We could keep going, man. Like this is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what,
Jeff
man.
Neiman.
The Gabe Kapler.
Yep.
Oh, Jeff. Yes. He was kind of that fringy starter, long man guy.
Yep.
Mhm.
Tiana
That
Navarro.
Navarro.
Sorry, I'm geeking too.
No,
The
yeah,
wheels are
like
turning.
yeah. I'm telling you, a great
Jim
time,
Hickey.
a great Jim Hickey, who
Yep.
was in DC up until last year.
Yep.
Yep.
It's funny
Dave.
when I covered the Nats when I took the beat job in 19. Davey's like told all the staff, he's like, I've known Brittany forever, and it's like, all right, you really have. He was on the '08 staff, him and Hickey. Like,
Yep.
we really do go really really far back. It's incredible, but yeah, I'll be there in 28. I
Yeah.
got to relive this as much as I can. So thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
My grandma used to
Oh,
party with George Hendrick.
Dude, he was the number one coolest person on that team, and
Yeah.
it's not close.
Yeah.
He was the man. I love George. Loved George.
Love
he's
it.
so
Awesome.
funny.
He was the best. Awesome. Where is he now?
I
He's not
don't
with
know.
them
He was
anymore, right?
I
he was a
don't know
special
either.
advisor. I don't know where he is now.
Yeah, he might
He
just
was
be
working for the
retired.
Rays, right?
Yeah, he might just be
Yeah.
retired, but he is the
He's
best.
done.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I got to go see if my kids
Brittany, tell our
ruined my home.
followers real quick where they can find you.
You can find me on The Athletic. I have a big story coming out. I don't know when this is posting, but I have a Buster Posey story that'll be coming out, or already is out, depending on when this comes up. You can also follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, Brit Ghiroli on both of those. And I'm new, as Lasha mentioned, to TikTok. So,
Ooh.
just trying to stay young and hip as long as I can, guys.
Gotcha.
Relive the glory
right.
days of '08.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So,
All right.
thanks
We'll
for having
holler
me.
at you. Well, thank you for your time.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Take care.
thank you,
All
Brittany.
right.
Of course.
All right.
See ya.
Well, that was awesome.
Expecting 30 minutes, and it's almost like when you go to church and the preacher keeps like running. It's like, oh no, take your time. Go ahead. We're good.
Hey, you're on a roll.
Yeah, we're on a roll. That was amazing. Like
Dude,
that
that was.
second time.
I
Our
wasn't
time.
quite sure what to expect. I don't know if she fully planned on talking about '08 the entire time, but that's what happened. I think that's kind of what we expected, given the fact that that's our favorite Rays season of all time. So, she kept saying she was geeking out. I was like, no, I am geeking out. Please
Yeah.
keep talking. So cool, man.
Dude, all
So
the
well
stories.
spoken too. She's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But fast forward to 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, our Tampa Bay Rays are the first team to go East Coast to West Coast and win 9 or more games since the 1977 Red Sox, man.
Don't get to say that very often, brother.
50 years?
70, I mean, yeah, and above all that, 74 and what are we? 74 and 46. I saw some comments saying, yeah, but they didn't play good baseball teams. I don't care. I don't care if you're playing those same teams at Tropicana Field. It's hard to win. It's hard to win baseball games, man. You still got to throw the ball over the plate, score runs. What they did is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, and they went into Seattle, a place that we've never played well in historically. They're a good team.
I was scared
Faced
to
some
get
decent.
swept out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. Faced some decent pitching over there. Kind of curb stomped them. I mean, it seems like everybody got hot in Sacramento.
Yeah.
We just finished that series up here like an hour ago or something. Liam Hicks, we got a catcher, brother.
Man. We scored
mean-
30 runs over 3 games.
Woo!
Like Hicks is the whole offense is clicking.
Everybody. Taylor
Hicks
Walls
is
is
like-
out here hitting home runs from both sides of the plate. Junior's doing junior things.
You got Yandy's option kicked in. He's telling Junior to calm down from second base. 3-run homer. Next pitch. Like, I mean, Aranda's consistent. Chandler's on fire. DeLuca's doing what he needs to do. Like,
DeLuca's eating.
Asios
Shit,
is
Carson
killing it.
Williams hit a home run.
Man, I did a scorebook stream last night, and people were talking shit including myself. I'll
Yeah,
raise my
yeah,
hand.
yeah.
People were talking
Absolutely.
shit. I was talking shit about him.
Hmm.
I'm like, wait, why are we pinch hitting for Junior here? Yickety, 3-run homer. I'm like, man, what is going on? Like,
Good for Carson, man. I love to see that.
I'm glad he got the money
Maybe
back.
that'll help. Yeah, for sure. Looks like he changed up his batting stance a little bit. I saw them talking about. Looks a little bit more relaxed, a little more confident. We'll see.
I mean, yeah,
But
shout out Evan Klosky for picking up on that. I did see that
yep.
too.
Hmm.
Um, Fastball Freddy. I'd hate that he
Yeah,
had to.
man.
I had to. He had to go. He had to go Coors and Sacramento as his first two starts, but
Brutal. But hey,
quality
he
start.
squeaked a quality start out of it. Looked good. I saw his changeup usage spiked way up. So, Kyle Snyder and co are working with him on that. I'm excited to see him this weekend. I think we saw he's starting on Sunday
Mhm.
against the
That's what it
Orioles.
lines up as far as because he's
Yeah.
Monday off day tomorrow. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see how he throws at Tropicana Field. As Tyler Glasnow would say, best place to pitch in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, even in his post game presser with after his start, he was talking about getting more downhill on the mound and getting more extension. So Ray's pitching lab, man. I mean, Tyler Wells looks amazing. He's still
Yep.
scoreless in his
Ian
appearances.
Seymour
Seymour
has
shut up.
pitched amazing, and Nick Martinez just threw a complete game. So the
Yeah,
Rays are rolling, man.
happy birthday too, Nick Martina. Happy birthday to Yandy too.
Yeah.
We both had birthdays.
So it's hard to find anything to bitch about like we normally try and find. We got nothing negative to talk about right now.
Yeah, like even Griffin Jacks went down. He said his elbow was barking.
Mm-hmm.
Bullpen game on Saturday in Seattle. Did you see they had for his 50 years of the Mariners, they had their top 50 Mariners in team history all on the field, other than like four of them because they're no longer with us. But they brought A-Rod back to Seattle, sold out house. Ichiro's in the home run derby the night before. Doesn't matter. Rays throw out 7 arms, and
Yep.
they
I
won a
saw
close ball
Junior
game 3-2.
Junior help like DJ the post game thing
Yeah, Junior and,
with
and Julio Rodriguez.
yeah,
Yeah,
Julio
yeah.
Rodriguez. Yeah, that was cool to see.
Both the Dominican boys, man. Yeah, I mean, dude, we've never played well in Seattle. I thought we were
Mm-mm.
gonna lose one out there.
Yep.
Thought we were gonna lose the
It's
bullpen game. I was like, okay, if we're gonna punt one, punt the Saturday game. But
I thought we were done when Jax got and above all things talk about positivity here. We just got great news on Griffin Jax.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
getting an injection, hanging out a couple days, and then going to start throwing again. And Shane McClanahan just tore it up 3 innings in Durham, so he's going to be back. Rays are rolling, man.
yeah, man. You might have Manny Rodriguez this weekend.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, we might
Call
have
that
some
a trade deadline move, man.
too. Oh, we did. Oh, I forgot. Hunter, guess what?
What?
Gavin Lux is not expected to play the rest of this year.
No way.
Wait.
I don't believe it. I did see that.
I don't even know
So
what to make of him.
infuriating.
Like we haven't seen him.
I don't know. I wasn't. Can't say I was expecting him to return. To be honest, I was just kind of that part in the back of my mind that was hopeful. I'd say I still think he would help us at second base, but
Okay, but I guess
was that confirmed?
Eric Neander said that on 620.
Oh, that was Neander.
I think
Okay,
it was with T. Kraz. He had him on. He had him on
interesting.
Monday, and he said, "Yeah, I think Lux is done for the year." And I guess once Richie heard that news, he was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
bet now I can play free."
yeah. Start swinging it a little.
I mean, he's hitting balls the other way. He's
Mm-hmm.
normally like, "Okay, I'm gonna get the hit out and I'm gonna pull the ball in the air," and he's going backside singles. I'm like, "Okay, now everybody's bought in." Like this is
Yeah.
scary, man, especially with Boston going on a 27-4 run. I mean, they just got first pitch in Toronto, but they've lost four straight. I don't. It's like both of us are almost like superstitious. We don't want to say it, but
Yeah, dude.
I,
Then I mean, just like Brittany was saying earlier, you don't want to like peak right now in August. You want to keep it going, and I feel like in the years past, it's kind of happened where we've peaked a little bit earlier, and then come playoff time, you flatline a little bit. Definitely doesn't seem like that's the case. I feel like we've been pretty freaking consistent all year long. Definitely want to finish August strong, give ourselves a little bit of a buffer because we've got a pretty tough end of the season in September. If you look down at the schedule, so a nice 6 game lead going into September would be pretty nice to have because I feel like winning the AL East is crucial for the Rays and getting that first round bye.
ironically, let's see, Texas 500. They are 60-60 at the time I'm reading this. Yes. So as far as September, other than other than the Mets and the A's, every opponent is either at or above 500 as of the time we're recording this. So August 12th. So
It's crazy, dude. I haven't even really been keeping up with the wild card race too much because I've been so locked on the division. But the Blue Jays are like 13 and a half games back or something, and they're like 3 games out of the wild card or something stupid like that. It's like,
yeah, man. Toronto
what the hell?
is. I got it in front of me right here. Toronto is 16 and a half back in the East, and they are 2.5 back in the wild card, and
See, like, that is stupid.
they're 58 and
That's
63.
that's crazy, man.
Yep. I mean they're playing Boston, so they can gain ground. I think this is the last. Do they play again tomorrow? Thursday the 13th. Let's see. Yep, they play. They got a day game tomorrow. The Yankees and Mariners got a day game. Blue Jays and Red Sox got a day game. So it's we. I mean, we both lived through 2011. I mean, we came back from 9.5 back. Like it ain't over. So
No, God, no. That's why, yeah, no. We know better than that, brother.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of baseball left.
a lot. They're just rolling it. Like we don't normally. One of us is ranting about something. Like Cedric Mullins has been playing well. DeLuca's playing well. Victor
Mm-hmm.
Mesa Jr. has been playing well. Like he had the two triples in Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hit a
other than
bomb as well
yeah,
yesterday.
I mean, other than cleaning it up on the base paths. I mean, I know Hicks got thrown out at second last night, but Cammy scored. Yeah, Cammy scored. I mean, you had to play with Taylor Walls getting hitting like the shoulder, the head area on the back pick. Other than that, they're first and third bunt play is still
Still
going.
bunting. I know.
Yeah,
They're doing it all, man. They're
I
even
think
showing some pop.
there was a stat bug of our offense with 2 outs, and it was nuts. Yeah, with 2 outs on the previous road trip, 31 runs, 327 average, 10 homers, 1,053 OPS, 341 average for runners in scoring position with 2 outs during that 9 game stretch, which is unheard of. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Absolutely absurd. I mean, that comeback they had when we were down 6-2, I was
yeah,
asleep. And we'll
yeah,
get back to that. First of all, I can't wait to get back to the East Coast for some regular time baseball, dude. I didn't like get to watch a lot of these games because I can't stay up that late. I got to get up too early. So, but I did. I stayed up for that game, and it was 6-2, and I went to bed and woke up the next morning to all these texts, and I was like, "There's no way we won that game," and we did. So, it's
yeah,
such
yeah.
a
Biggest inning of the season. You had the 8 run inning.
yeah, insane, dude. They had a rally in today's game, in the final game of the Athletic series. No one on 2 outs, and I think they scored 4 runs or something stupid. So
Yeah, in the
two
fourth.
runs,
Yes, yeah, they scored four. Yeah, man.
four.
I
Yeah,
mean, Drew
man.
got the win again. He's 12-5 with a 2.7.
And Drew didn't even have his best stuff today.
Right. This team, man, they can beat you in different ways, just like we were talking about with Britt, especially with the '08 team. Oh, another tidbit. The next time we won't have to. No, do we play? No, because the Rays didn't play there last year. The next time the Rays play the A's, will be in Vegas.
Wow.
That might be a boys trip.
I was just thinking that.
That
That
might
might
be a boys
be,
trip.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. God,
yeah.
that'd be a good excuse to go there, man. That'd be fun.
I've never
That
been. You have?
stadium.
Yeah, I haven't been yet. That'd be. Oh yeah.
Vegas is fun. It's a lot, but it's fun. Um, Dude, I told you, I was there. I don't know how even know how long ago that was. I've been traveling so much, but I saw the bones of that stadium. It's gonna be so sick. The roof construction is like so crazy. It's like a almost like Miller Park, but like a modern Miller Park look. I don't know.
That's
It's
gonna.
gonna be
Yeah,
sweet. I can't wait.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know they got a time lapse camera on YouTube for all of our watchers on YouTube. If you want to look that up. Um. Yeah, man. I'm excited for it. Hopefully, just for their fan base's sake, I hope they're playing better ball rolling in. But yeah, man.
it should be, man. They got some young bucks on that team that I think are gonna be pretty good. I like the white guy. He's from St. Pete. I didn't even know that. Tyler
Yeah,
White.
Tommy. Yeah,
Is that
Tommy
his name?
Tanks.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. Went to
yep. He hit it.
IMG,
He
went to
hit at my hitting
LSU.
facility. Yep,
Yeah.
Tommy
Cool. I
White.
like uh I like Bolt too, or Bolty, however you say his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh
They got a lot of. I love Brent
yeah.
Rooker. Like I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna hit 40 homers going into the year. I think I put that on Hard Rock. That money donated, but but
Kind of forgot about him, honestly.
yeah. I mean, that
He's
dude,
been
they
hurt.
literally is. Yeah, I think knee surgery. Him,
Okay.
Langoliers, Kurtz.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big three right there.
Kurtz.
I know they
Yeah.
got
I mean,
oh, Severino's hurt too. They're banged up, man. So hopefully
yeah.
hopefully they're I thought they were gonna win the
Yeah.
win the West. They had a shot at winning the West this year, I thought. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
But
They're gearing up to be ready for opening day in their new stadium.
pretty much. I know they're gonna
Kind of like
spend.
kind of like what we thought the Rays were going to be doing. And
Yeah,
here we are.
yeah, yeah, man. But I mean
I love
9-0 road trip. We knew Colorado that was gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of just dealing with the altitude and the time change. Seattle, I didn't know if we were gonna win, and Oakland, I still call them Oakland. It is what it is.
it's Oakland.
Um, that's it, man. You got anything else?
No, go. No excuses, guys. Get to the Trop this weekend. Go support the Rays. They just had a killer West Coast trip. Let's welcome them back home. They opened up the upper deck for us. We got a who is it? Jordan Davis concert
Yep,
on Saturday. I think that's his
yep.
name.
Flappy
Um,
Boy T-shirt.
yeah, Flat Boy T-shirt, and you get a little coupon I think for a bobblehead later on. I saw. So yeah, get to the Trop. Let's pack it out. Support the boys and keep the winning streak going.
Yeah. If you don't do it for the ball club, do it for us because our birthdays are next week. So if you
Yeah.
wanna,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanna, yeah, support the ball club. Support us by supporting the ball club. There we go.
Yeah, that's our
Yes.
birthday present. That's all we want.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
go to a
That's all
game.
good. That's all. Yeah. Go to a game. I know they still got
Maybe
$10
we'll,
tickets.
maybe we'll give away some tickets for our birthday.
Yeah, we'll do something. I think we might. I don't know. We might try to catch a game together during the Blue Jays series, but we'll work that out. But that's it, man. This has been one hell of a pod.
I agree. I cannot wait to post this and have everybody hear it. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment, please.
Please do. We're gonna do this more often. We still got a good guest list. Me and Hunter know tons of people. So
Yeah, we
and we
might have
didn't
a
talk
pretty
about
good.
before we go. Ken Babby, Bill Carlson. I think they
Oh
got
yeah,
they need
great stadium update, guys. Let's go.
great stadium updates. So they're looking at
Mm-hmm.
voting August 27th. Carlson was known as the swing vote. He pretty much pushed it forward as far as giving this whole thing a chance as far as the Tampa City Council. So
He pretty much proposed a whole new financing plan.
yeah,
Shout out to him.
and I think they're on board with it. So
Yeah, Rays
we'll
Ken
see.
Babby was like, okay. I think, as I understand it, it's a minor concession on the Rays part, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. They, you
Right.
know,
You'll make the money on the back
they
end.
knew it wasn't going to be sunshine and rainbows. This is not going to be easy. Get it done. The time is now, and we might hear about the new stadium in the next couple weeks. Pretty exciting.
Think so. hopefully by Labor Day we got some news, some shovels in the ground, something.
Yes. Dude, just like new stadium, sign Junior Caminero, win World Series.
Man. And then
2026
and then
will
you get
be in the
married and then you
books.
good. You complete.
Yeah, yeah. Then
Yeah.
gosh, man, I could just oh, secure my season tickets for the new stadium, and then I'm complete.
Man, you and me both. But that's I think we covered everything.
Yeah,
I think we covered
I think so
everything.
too, man.
Um,
that was an awesome podcast. That was a lot
oh,
of fun.
wait, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. I'm so sorry. We got a new Rays jersey coming for 2027.
Oh, how did we forget about
The
that?
the baby
How did we
burst
forget about that?
the burst blues are gone. If you know us too, we that's yeah, no. So I think we're getting the road gray Tampa Bays next year. We won't look awkward at the All-Star game.
They didn't even downgrade the baby blue burst jersey to spring training. They just scratched it all together. The new spring training jerseys will be the current Navy jerseys, which I think is cool. Keep those around. Getting a
Yeah.
gray Tampa
Per
Bay
Mark
away
Tompkins.
jersey.
This isn't just I'm shooting off the hip from sources. This is per Mark and his raised notes that he does on Sundays. So yeah, man. And I think we might get a new hat to go with it. I don't know. We'll see. Just
Yeah, we'll see what the design looks like. I'm excited.
yeah, especially with
Get to
the
add another
exclusive
jersey to the
with
repertoire.
this wacky year, like one thing at a time. So we went we went stadium winning, new stadium. Yeah, this just work with us. We got a lot going on right
Yeah,
now.
a
But
lot going on in the
as Rays
Razors.
fans. But all right, man. Okay, I think we got everything. I don't have anything else. Not that I can think
I
of.
think so.
I think
If
we're
not, we
good.
might have another pretty special guest next week. Trying
We
to set
might.
that up. Might be
We
a lot of
might.
fun. Might have some cool baseball
Yeah.
stories involved with that one. So we're excited for that. But
He might lay down the
uh,
law on Trop Talk, you know. So
mm-hmm, we're excited
yeah,
for
man,
it.
that'll be
But
a good.
leave
That'll
us
be
a
good.
comment, guys.
Please do.
Like, let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear. Leave a comment for Brittany. She deserves it. That was awesome. Shout out to
Please
Brittany
do.
again.
Yeah, that would absolutely. But all right, man. Until we'll
Cool.
get through the Orioles series. I know we'll have an episode
Mm-hmm.
next week at some point, but well, we'll definitely have an episode at some point next week. So we're gonna have a special guest. So that's it.
I'll be there in the upper deck on Saturday.
There we go. I'll be there Friday night. I might be there Sunday too. I got a buddy who's got a birthday. He wants me to pop out. So
Nice.
we'll see. I can't stay away from the Trop for too long.
Peace, brother.
Exactly. You get it.
If you
All
know, you
right,
know.
y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Any feedback is welcome. Um, have a good weekend and raise up.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
See you guys.